Folks, let's spend a couple of minutes with Michael Kalter, W8CI of DARA and Hamvention 2024. That's what's coming up next on LCARA HAMRadio.
I'm KY4 BDP Brian, and we're here at Hamvention 2024 with Michael Kalter. Michael's always gracious to give us a little bit of his time, and we just asked some general questions just to see what's going on this year at Hamvention. Michael, thank you for letting us come into your mobile abode here.
Well, I want to say hello to you, Brian and Chris, and glad to see you at Hamvention. And yeah, I'm always happy to talk to you guys. I think a world of what you're doing, and I keep track of your wonderful YouTube projects and stuff, and I learn from them too. And I'll say hello to everybody out there, and
well, thank you.
Warm hello from everybody here mentioned.
Well, and of course, Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association and all of our members appreciate you. So
I'm glad to hear
and we appreciate you when you came down, when you were running for the region. So
yeah, I gave it a good shot.
You did.
And the amateurs spoke, and I'd wake up in the morning down in Kentucky after spending a night down there and talking to a club, and then have to be up to Michigan by the evening to speak to another club.
Wow.
And the reason is because I had to match the times when the clubs had their meetings.
Right.
And I tried to give out the best message I could, and but it's like this: you take a slamming and you keep on hamming. So I lost, and but I take that in stride. You can't win everything, and I'm still happy to be really busy with Hamvention.
Well, we appreciate all of the stuff that you're doing here. We've seen you in motion. We've seen you actually doing some of what is necessary when you run this, and we won't go into details, but give us an indication this year of maybe some things that you're noticing as trends at Hamvention this year.
Well, that's a great question. Let me start with a few of the negatives. Yeah, it rained yesterday, but you know what was amazing yesterday in all that rain? People were still happy to be here, but that's Hamvention. And, if you're an amateur radio operator, you just deal with the weather. And a guy told me once, he said, if you don't like the weather, you aren't dressed right. And I'm sure that, you guys are like that too. And but the new things here, I really like the forums that continue. And, ICOM had a new unveiling of a radio, and I'm sure you're probably going to cover that later. But there are a lot of new vendors here. Of course, we're missing, MFJ, which is unfortunate, but, life goes on. Somebody's we were able to fill that spot quickly because so many people want to display here. By the way, the inside exhibits in the buildings sold out. And the flea market, we might have had one space left. And I haven't talked to them to see if that got taken. But the crowd here is tremendous. And to get back to your question, what is new and exciting? I just think that the positive attitude of people here. And then as I look at all the people coming in, and they aren't all frosted flakes like I am, and I know you guys aren't quite there yet, but there's a lot of different people along the whole age spectrum, and especially different men and women who are in their 30s and 40s that are completely into it. And I look at the great strides that are made, and we look at it that if we're successful here at this event, and you're successful what you're doing with your clubs and other smaller amateur radio gatherings and Hamfest, it's a win-win for everybody. I do want to mention that we never consider ourselves in competition with Huntsville or Orlando. We're really good friends with them. Matter of fact, we comp them a couple of spaces, each one of them, and sometimes other radio organizations to make sure that they can promote their events. And the reason that we see that important, once again, is we're all different pillars trying to hold up and support amateur radio. and how important it is right now
Right.
in the world and communication. So once again, if they're successful, we feel really happy that everybody's going to be successful.
Well, you've got a young crop of volunteers this year that are making some noises.
That is great. We have one of the things that our club does. We have what's called the Thursday night group, and there's a group there, the DEF CON group, and these guys are, a lot of them have science degrees and one type or another, and they really get into the wildest subjects, and they work together, and they're friends. But they're at the same time, we have a P25 group, and P25 is really big here in the region, and we're all trying to teach each other. But then there's another group in there that kind of comes in, and they say, well, I got this problem or that problem. There's always somebody there to work with you. But the exciting thing is that DEF CON group, they're, like I say, they're a bunch of young guys, and they're out here helping us with all our IT and all the issues that we have, coming up with great ideas, and they're passionate. Well, I don't know if I like it like that. I want it like this, they would say. And that's so exciting for us. And I had a couple of guys tell me the other day, they said, Michael, we're going to run this Hamvention someday. I said, I was just thrilled. I said, yes, you are. Yeah, you are. Just hang in here, and like I mentioned earlier, you take a slamming and keep on hamming. But we have a lot of really young people. We got high school people and people from colleges that come here and are active in it, and it's just, I think that the hobby right now is better than it's ever been. The ARL's having their issues with things, but they're not the only group in town.
Right.
It's important that we support them, but at the same time, I don't like to hear a lot of negatives about amateur radio, because if you're a young person, any person, you're thinking about getting into it, and you think, I don't know if I want to get into that. There's all this drama and infighting. That's not where we come from in Dayton Amateur Radio Association. And with 700 volunteers out there, just working really hard, a lot of us year round, and trying to make this a wonderful event. People that you don't even see behind the scenes. And, I can't take a lot of credit for things. We're a team, but that's what amateur radio is about. If you guys do team events, I watch you on your wonderful YouTubes that you do, and you work as a team. And then this year, you guys had a forum, and for those of you who don't know, their forum was they knocked it out of the park. They had actually became standing room only, from what I understand. And you had 120 to 150 people, and that was capacity in that room. But they talked about clubs, right? And the importance of clubs. And I've had the opportunity to visit your club, and I was pretty impressed. And when I see what you guys are doing, you're knocking it out of the park. You're putting Kentucky, Lake Cumberland on the map.
Well, that's our intention for sure.
You are.
Now, to kind of wrap things up, something a little more personal for you. Your granddaughter? What's the story here on the granddaughter?
Well, I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to give her a name.
I understand.
Her mama might not like that. So this is my oldest granddaughter, and she's going to meet me here shortly. She came to me about a week ago. It was the day before Mother's Day, and their family's so busy, and modern day families. But she said, Papa, I want to talk to you a minute. Sure, I'd love to talk. I want to know what time the test is on Saturday at the Hamvention. I about fell out. I was so excited about it. My tears were welling up in my eyes, and so she's coming over in a little while. She unfortunately, her FRN number has not been issued, but she's still coming today, and I'm really excited that she's interested. And my daughters, when growing up, they'd see my house, wires here, antennas there. I have my second oldest daughter, who's a medical doctor. I'd let him drive one of the cars to school, but I had a big antenna on it, mag mount. She decided, she's not going to drive into a parking lot with a great big, with her friends there with that big antenna. So she pulls the thing off and took a lot of paint with it too. And I confronted her about it. She says, "Dad, you realize how embarrassing that would be if I pulled in there with that big antenna? What do you expect me to do?" And I went, "Yeah, no." And I would try to be really good about it. I didn't want to be too negative. But golly, it's just so exciting to see all these younger people. I mean, even the high school kids, and we've got them in this area. And, we really have to embrace young people more. And I'm not going to, I could tell you more stories, but go ahead.
No worries. Well, thanks so much for offering a little bit of your time today with Chris and I and this interview. And every year, this is the highlight of our trip, is to be able to sit down with you and talk about the event. And we just have a great time. We appreciate the opportunity at the forum this year. We had a blast doing that. We've already got that published on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that's one of our young guys that did that, Logan Rickert. Is it? I think it's W8CI is his call.
Okay.
Logan, forgive me if I get it wrong.
But we've just had a blast this year. And as usual, the events, with all the flea market stuff going on, plus the exhibitors that we already have here, plus all the forums going on, there's a little bit of everything here.
Oh my gosh, you don't even have to be a ham radio operator to be blown away. I have a friend who's interested, and he came and he went, "Whoa, this is far more technical." And he's an engineer, and he's just far more technical than I ever imagined it would be. I said, "Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff." And I wish I had time to get even more of it, and there's so many exciting things happening today that don't necessarily cost a lot of money to get into, to augment your amateur radio experience. And you guys, you keep up that good programs on the YouTube. I know it. It's growing and growing, and well done, very professional. And I'm really glad you're here. But next year, probably have you in a bigger room so we can get everybody seated. And your topic was right on. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks, and thank you so much for your time.
Oh, my God, my pleasure. Anything for you guys.
For the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, I'm KY4 BDP Brian. Chris is behind the camera, KY4 CKP, and we'll see you down the road. 73.
73.